Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Mortal Kombat 12 video on the channel. And wow, did you guys really enjoy that Reboot episode on Scorpion? Dear God, for reals guys, thank you for all of the love and support. As well, it looks like this may end up being a bit of a mini-series that I do run on the channel. With that said, due to popular demand, down in the comments below, plus totally not foreshadowed in the last episode, it would only feel right to cover the other poster boy of the series, and longtime rival to the Shirai Ryu and Scorpion himself, the grandmaster of the Lin Kuei, and infamous Cryomancer of the series, Sub-Zero. Now, just before we do kick things off, I do wish to elaborate and want to remind you all that going forward, this is all theoretical on my part, because as of making this video, NetherRealm Studios is still yet to clarify and announce which ending following Aftermath is truly canon, as both endings are viable in their own way. Whether that be the more nostalgic presentation of the Great Kung Lao era, set in the past of the legend, or the much more sinister ending where Shang Tsung has laid claim to a dying world. But with all of these ideas accounted for, if NetherRealm are to play it somewhat safe for its next big installment, the Great Kung Lao era would naturally be the narrative alley to take, as it is an era that we know more of than actually explore. Plus, we get to play around with new and interesting concepts from this time period. And with today's video's main focus being aimed on Sub-Zero, a mantle that has been passed from brother to brother, it does waver the question of how exactly could Sub-Zero fit into this time period. Because, let's face it, if there is a Scorpion who is the poster boy for God's sake, then you know damn well that Sub-Zero will be there to probably die in that trailer. But still, how exactly does Sub-Zero fit in? Before we do kick things off, just a quick reminder, as always, if you enjoy what we do here and wish to see more, please don't forget to subscribe and tick that bell to stay up to date with all things Mortal Kombat related. This includes both lore and news about the hotly anticipated Mortal Kombat 12. But for now, here's a quick message from today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends, the free-to-play mobile game that has taken the world by storm. And it's hard not to see why. With over 700 unique champions, millions of players, a tactical RPG system, PvP and PvE game modes, and ways to customize your character your way, what's not to love? Plus, it's all available on iOS and Android. But it does not quite end there, as it's Raid's 4th annual anniversary. So, to commemorate the occasion, the team has assembled a very wholesome scrapbook, allowing me to have a trip down memory lane with my starter champion, Galek. From acquiring items to defeating other champions, to waging wars against dungeon bosses, it's been really nice taking a trip down memory lane to see all of the chaos and havoc we have caused from our time together. But don't worry, new players, as Raid is also welcoming the next generation of heroes with a variety of new events. And this includes offers from free gifts to promo codes to events and even a new fusion event. There's plenty of stuff to jump into. Plus, if you need any more convincing, there's also an anniversary themed legendary champion. Now, for you older fans, you'll get a video package recounting all of your stats over the last year. And for you Amazon Prime members that do have Genbo, keep an eye out for the powerful Savage gear available from the 2nd of March to the 30th. So if you're interested in getting involved, please click on my link in the description below or scan my QR code as you gain access to incredible bonuses such as the Epic Champion, Kalan the Strike, energy refills, XP brews, and magical potions to help you start your journey. And with it being Raid's anniversary, please don't forget to use the promo code 4year Raid to gain access to 4 legendary kill tomes, as well as a variety of extra free gifts. So once again, please do click on the link or scan my QR code, as it does actually help the channel. So without any further ado, let's get back to the video. Now, with a new timeline more or less established, I do want to point out some glaring factors that we don't know about the next installment. Obviously, first and foremost, we currently don't know what ending is truly canon here. And with a new timeline does come some new rules. The thing is, not only are we yet to know of said rules, but also the characters that will be re-established during this time period. Because there's always the possibility that some characters could easily be plucked from another time period and just be dropped off here. Or if they are going full-scale reboot, does that mean once again establishing characters in a completely new and different method? Under the assumption that this so is the case, how exactly does a character like Sub-Zero fit into this new world? Well, surprisingly quite easily, with Sub-Zero being more of a title than that of a singular character. It means that it has been passed from person to person, and this idea has not been more prevalent than it has in the Reboot trilogy, as I will touch on a few, but very key and important bits of information. From what we are aware of the Cryomancer lineage, is that it has been very intertwined with that of the Lin Kuei, something very quickly highlighted during the events of Mortal Kombat X. Also, worth mentioning that I will be basing this video on the established lore and canon in the Reboot trilogy, as it could be seen as a stepping stone into the prequel era, having laid out the groundwork and foundation for this to happen. Now, during the promotional vignettes we did get for Mortal Kombat 9, we did learn that Bi-Han and Kuai Liang were kidnapped as children by the Lin Kuei, with the clan itself having kept a close eye on them, knowing full well the abilities they had that were yet to be tapped into. Once they were taken in by the clan, Bi-Han would be graced with the mantle of Sub-Zero, whilst Kuai Liang would be dubbed as Tundra. What has now made this also intriguing is the expansive lore we come to learn of during Mortal Kombat X and 11. During X, when we analyze a mural reminiscing over figures of the past, one of the pictures here depicts an old Lin Kuei grandmaster, one that is casting an ice ball. This is something we've never heard or seen prior to this, as the only Cryomancers we've ever really come to know of or play as has been Kuai Liang, Bi-Han, and Frost. So the sudden existence of a Cryomancer in the past has raised a lot of questions of how they might all be connected. Because if we look at Mortal Kombat 11, we actually learn so much more about their lineage. Like how during Sindel's tyrannical reign over Edenia, she would have the Cryomancers be banished from the world of Edenia, meaning that yes, whilst we have been familiar with them originating from Earthrealm, it turns out this has never been the case. Thus again, adding an interesting layer of mythology that was never previously explored. And during a verbal exchange between Noob Saibot and Sub-Zero, it is revealed that their grandfather was also a Sub-Zero, so their ties to the clan do run very deep. So it does raise the question of whether or not this person here could actually be their grandfather. But what are the chances of this being true, as this is a theory right now? Well, I am pleased to say that this could happen. We must keep in mind, we don't actually know how far back these paintings go, but if they truly have Edenian blood flowing through their veins, then we know for a fact that their lifespan are much longer than that of the average mortals. So it is very possible for this grandmaster here to possibly be hundreds of years old. But I gotta kind of point out, this is especially hard to pin down, because everyone in Mortal Kombat has a really nasty habit of just falling down and dying on a frequent basis, with Sub-Zero's kind of specializing in it. But that can definitely work to this universe's favor, especially with it being a mantle. We now have a free canvas to paint this Sub-Zero in a completely different manner, possibly even a villainous one, which could actually be quite beneficial for the character, not just because it paints him as a devoted follower of the traditions of the Lin Kuei, but it also helps newcomers who may have only just been introduced to the series from the 2021 movie. Whilst most certainly not the best film of the franchise, it's a movie that is carried by the likes of Kano and Sub-Zero, framed here as a cold-hearted, ruthless bastard. So I think with this influence in mind, and this being a new Sub-Zero, it could be a great opportunity to frame him as a villain, serving as a great middle ground for both audiences. I honestly love the idea of playing around with this concept, because if this is their grandfather, then it adds so many layers to not just the mantle, but the family dynamic, as we get to learn the tragedy of Kuai Liang's family, how their parents may have possibly abandoned the clan in the hopes of pursuing a normal life. But this all falls apart and backfires when the two were kidnapped and brainwashed by the Lin Kuei to become their loyal soldiers. It does so much for the family aspect of this character, especially knowing that they would die because of their ties to the clan. And this is us not even touching on the long-seeded rivalry with the Shirai Ryu. We could learn and see this rivalry in its prime, how both sides clashed with each other, as well as be introduced to Master Takeda, the founder of the Shirai Ryu, and whether or not this Sub-Zero was responsible for his death, as the Grandmaster did die from having his tea be poisoned. Again, it just adds so much for us to understand contextually just how far back the bad blood does go, somewhat sowing the seeds of fate of a rivalry that does quite literally transcend time itself. As narrative reboots go, I really do love this idea. I think it's a great and fantastic way to reinterpret the Sub-Zero character. And as you can clearly see, the groundwork and foundation is laid out here. It's just a matter of whether or not NetherRealm really wish to tap into it. Don't get me wrong, I love Bi-Han and Kuai Liang. I think they are fantastic in their own right. But we've already seen their story done, twice now actually, and in both instances, it kind of has been a bit lackluster. I think for the sake of seeing something new, it's worth introducing a new Cryomancer that can add a new dynamic to Mortal Kombat's story. Another way to push this eternal feud forward. This possible new era wages a lot, and I mean a lot, of possibilities going forward, paying both homage to the past as well as the very present. I think it would be healthy for the series to step in a little bit of a different direction, as things have largely been stagnant for a while, simply repeating the events of Mortal Kombat 1 to 4. With that said, everyone, who would you like to see me talk about next? Reptile? Johnny Cage? Please do comments down below, as I would love to hear your opinion, as it gives me an idea of what my next video should be about. And hey, if you've made it to the end of this video, please before we wrap up, give this video a thumbs up, as it does go a long way here and does help support the channel. But for now everyone, that has been it for me. So as always, stay strong, stay well, and keep on fighting, as we all eagerly await for Mortal Kombat 12. Take care everyone, I'll see you all soon.